Hi, my name is Brian Sorial, and I am your instructor for this MACA 1200 online course. You probably have already seen my Brian Sorial introduction movie, so you know a little bit what I look like and have met me in a fashion. But I'm on the Macomb.edu website where you access the My Macomb page. So in order to get started with you in this course, I want you to, if you haven't already done so, go to My Macomb and then log in the way you would to get any of your records, and then down here on the left is the Canvas login. Now I've already logged in, so it's coming right up to the classes that I'm in. You might come up to a page where you actually have to sign in to Canvas for the first time, but that's for another movie that I've already made. So we're going to click on the MACA 1200. I'm going to click on it because that's your class, so that's what you would click on, and it goes right into this home page where I want you to download the syllabus. Now when I click it, I put links everywhere on here, okay? And yes, read all of this, and the movie that I'm actually talking about right now is going to be what this click is. So this is going to go to the YouTube movie for this, which is why it's in here too. And then if you want to re-see the Brian Sorial introduction movie for all my classes, you can see that's right there. I'm not going to click it. And then the Brian Sorial portfolio movie, I will click that just real quick, and then you'll hear me actually come up on YouTube. And this is my movie, this is my silly face, and I'm going to stop this, and now you can kind of get a feel of who I am and the kinds of things that I do. But again, this movie here is only about the syllabus, because I want you to see how to correlate the syllabus with the first day handout, which is the first day handout, with the modules. When you come up to this page here, you're going to be able to click the modules page, and the modules page goes right into the weekly folders. There's of course a big folder on top where I have a lot of different links to different cool sites. It has my welcome announcement, which is what I want you to click on, and then there will be another one right here for this very movie in case you want it, but this is another link right there to the first day handout. But let me open up the first day handout and let's go into, let me make it slightly bigger on the screen so you can see. If I go fast forward it, go ahead and read all of this, and there is a first day handout quiz or a survey that I want you to do, and I'll kind of show it to you in a minute. Here are the dates for the semester, and then access and course description, course outcomes, and all of that really good stuff, and links to my Sorial illustrations page. After the semester is over, and even during the semester, I want you to go to the Sorial illustrations page right here, because everything that is in Canvas is also on my illustrations page. I'll click it real fast so you can see that there are tutorials right there for Illustrator, Photoshop, and After Effects. And you're welcome to go into there. For instance, the Illustrator tutorials are just about the same thing, except for the Guide 6, the character one, which I will update in here as well. But that's just my Sorial illustrations one. So let me close that and click back to here. I'm going to fast forward to this part here, and then I'm going to continue to fast forward. This is just a list of the assignments all the way through the semester. Okay, including the one that is Guide 6, the character art, which I don't have ready yet. I will by like week 2 or 3. This isn't till week 7 anyway. But I want you to do the guide. Let me zoom in. I want you to do the Guide 1 tool palette quiz. I want you to do then the first assignment, which is the Guide 2 pen and path. Then there's 2 Guide 3 assignments. There's part 1, which is the lettering, and there is another part 2, which is actually assembling an ad. Then there's a real quick one, which I call the Viper Prep Art. Then there's getting used to the transform tool here. But you can keep on going. Now, remember I said Guide 2, Guide 3, Guide 3 Part 2, Guide 4, Guide 5, Guide 6. Look, if I click back to Canvas, look at how I have week 1 right here, which is Guide 2. And I want to stop right here for a second. Every one of these is going to have somewhere on here something called an asset file, where you bring up a folder where you get all the stuff. So when I click that, don't be afraid on this page that it's going to say this document cannot be displayed. Just go ahead and download the zip file. So you have to click up here. Now I'm going to go back to that page right here. And then I want you to see that there are movies that go all the way through, the tutorial movies. In this one, in this class, let me put this on my other screen real quick. Let me move this over. And then here is the Pen and Path folder, which I just clicked on. It's the asset folder, which has a PDF file. I'm going to ask you right now, do not just look at the PDF files. You have to watch the movies. The movies guide you through everything. The PDF files, I want you to get used to the movies because you learn so much more in the movies. The PDF file is not complete. So just please trust me on that, all right? And I will say, let me put this back on the screen. Oh, let me advance this here to the weekly assignment guides. So in week 1, you have the duties you're supposed to read or review. You have the assignments that are due. This says, let me zoom in. This says for week 1, I want you to reply to the welcome message. I also want you to do the first day handout questionnaire and the guide 1 tool palette test. Okay, that's week 1. So let's go over to here in the Canvas week 1 and let's see, here is the tool palette practice sheet. When you're done with the practice sheet, go ahead and take the tool palette quiz. All right, then there's a first day handout questionnaire. And don't worry when you do the questionnaire, you have to have the first day handout because it'll ask you for items that are inside of here. All right, it'll say, you know, when are my assignments due? How many points are there? What do I expect in the class? You're going to be graded a 0 on all of them till I review it, and then I'll evaluate your score, okay, probably in week 2 or 3. So don't be afraid, it's going to give you a 0 at first, all right? So back to this. Here is the syllabus. It says the welcome message, the questionnaire, and the tool palette quiz. So let me put it over here. Here is the welcome message, the first day questionnaire, and the tool palette quiz. Then it says to begin guide 2. Now I'm going to go back to the first day handout, and it says in week 2, on Sunday, put your guide 2 properly named, your guide 2 Pen and Path AI file for Adobe Illustrator, put it in the Dropbox. Okay, that's for week 2. So let's go back over to Canvas and look in week 2 here in Canvas in the modules how I have the guide 2 Pen and Path assignment Dropbox. Now I'm going to click on it. Yours is going to say submit. Where mine says published, yours is going to say submit or upload. So you get to upload a file. So that's how I want you to turn in your files. So let's go back to this right here. And let's just kind of go through the weeks real quick. So week 3 says, would you please watch the movies for guide 3 part 1? And then it says, on Sunday, turn in on week 3 the guide 3 part 1 file. Now, let's go through week 4. Week 5 is the same way. Week 6 is the same way with the transform tool. Week 7 is the assignment under construction character art. So don't do that one yet, but I'll give you an email about week 3 and tell you that that one's ready to go. Okay, let me go over to here. So in week 3, look at how you're going to be able to find the Dropbox for guide 3 part 1 assignment Dropbox. Same thing with week 4 in part 2 assignment Dropbox. Now you remember I said that there is always a zip folder with the assets. There it is right there. So when you want to get the assets, first click this, then follow these movies, then turn it in up here for part 1 and turn it in here for part 2. All right, and here is the asset files right there for part 2. All right, so and here is the movie for guide 3 part 2. So week 5 is the Viper prep art. Here is the Dropbox. Here are the files you use. Week 6 is the transform tool. Here is the Dropbox where you turn in the assignment, and right below it is the asset files. Now, it should be that simple. So first thing when you go to Canvas, I'm going to click this. First thing when you go to Canvas is download the syllabus, make sure you read it, then go to your modules, just like I clicked right there, and follow everything on here. You don't have to read all of these things. These are basically, if you want to click on some of them. Remember I said my Sorial Illustrations page? Well, there's a link to my Sorial Illustrations page. All right. And then I did want to show you on here that way back at the beginning of this, let me zoom way back at the beginning, I have a link, let me see if I can find it, to my Sorial YouTube channel. So I'll click this, and if the semester is over and we're still working together, or if you just want to go in there, click on playlists, and here is the Adobe Illustrator right there, Adobe Illustrator playlist, and here are all my Illustrator files. Let me tell them to be quiet. So here are all the Illustrator tutorials here on the right. So if you have any questions, please let me know, but this should have been a pretty good guide to get you through the semester and where you find everything in, let me close that because it's in Chrome, and let me minimize this, in here. So in Canvas, in the home page right there, I even have a link to the module. So when it first comes up, you can click modules right down here and it'll go there. All right. I do have something before I leave that I wanted you to see. So let me go to the modules and let me go to welcome announcement. Do you see where that is right there? It's at the very top. I gave you a list of the dates for the semester, which is also in the first day handout, but I also broke down the weeks into dates just so you can have a, if you wonder what week 7 is, well, there's week 7, February 19th to the 25th. Okay, just so that might be a help to you. Okay, so I look forward to working with you. Thank you.